of the Cass County Public Library Board of Trustees to order. And we will start with roll call.
I can do it.
Would you please, Miss Lori?
Becky Klein.
Here.
Sherry Peters. Here. Dennis Minnick.
Here.
Diana Larson.
Here.
Diane Hahn.
Here.
Please stand for the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The crew, yeah, the crew's nice. Still there. Yeah.
Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Okay, if you would look at your agenda, we do not have any legal business to discuss. Nothing has happened. Are you giving me a face, Dennis? We should go to legal? Okay, we are going to stay in legal. And we'll just, okay, we're gonna leave executive just like it is, okay? All right. So, I would like an approval of the agenda, please.
So moved.
Diana, made the motion.
Second.
Thank you, Diane made the. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, moving on to consent agenda. Any questions on the budget or payment? Thank you, Lori, for the update on the building projects. And any corrections on the minute?
You need a motion to approve the minutes
And the financials?
and the
Yes,
financial.
thank
Okay.
you. Second, please.
Second.
All right. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. No public, any public comments? All right, thank you. So we're gonna start off with new business, the story walk, opening bids.
Opening bid. I'm Ian Ondera, Facilities Coordinator with Cass County Public Library. In summer of 2025, we hired Dubois Consultants, a civil engineering firm, to design and create a construction site plan for a story walk we would like constructed in Pleasant Hill. We got the construction documents finalized in January, and at the end of January, we submitted an invitation for bids to asphalt companies to bid for the project, and these are the bids that were submitted. First bid is from All Pro Asphalt and Maintenance. They do have the addendum. The addendum is outside of the sealed bid because they had submitted the bid before we had gotten the correction of the legend from Dubois Consultant, which is why the addendum went in. But they were pretty quick in their response, so we just included it with the packet. But they do have a signed addendum, and they were very quick in returning it.
Okay.
Base bid at $41,599.25. I do not see a bond. Second company is Asphalt Paving Services, Tandem Paving Company. They do have bond. They have to sign addendum. Base bid for proposal, $35,859.98.
Right.
These two proposals, the board will deliberate and they will announce the winning bid March 18th board meeting.
Right. And we can talk about negotiated contracts in our closed meeting, but also if you have questions that come up that Ian and Robin and Lee might need to ask or clarify, you can email them or give them a call and let them know. Go through Robin or Lee first of all, okay? Thank you, Ian. All right, we have a grant authorization for a recreational trails program through Missouri Department of Natural Resources. And questions for Ian about it? He was very complete and filled out.
I just wondered what our obligations were. I saw that we had to maintain it for 25 years.
They did 25 years.
Is that the only, sometimes grants have a lot of ties
Right,
to them,
right,
but since this is a trail,
yes.
I didn't think there could be too many.
Not to, and we're not stipulating a whole lot of stuff. So this is for phases 2 and 3 of the construction. One would be for the parking lot, which would be considered a trailhead. And the other one would be a starting point going from the building, creating an ADA ramp down to the trail and a secondary staircase down to the trail. So by those definitions, those are the only things that we would really have to maintain. Not just the asphalt, but the AD ramp will be concrete work, so we'll just have to make sure that we do our proper preventative maintenance on that. And hand railing structures will be very important, so we just need to make sure that preventative maintenance, making sure that they're clean, tight, and sanitary, all the things that go with that. So as far as the maintenance of 25 years on our end, the scope is pretty easy.
Okay. Robin is the signature on this grant, so we would be authorizing her to sign it and submit it. That's on one of the back pages there.
I make the motion that we authorize Robin to sign the grant application.
I'll second that.
All right, roll call please, Lori?
Becky Klein,
Yes.
Sherry Peters, yes. Dennis Minnick,
Yes,
Diana Larson.
Yes.
Diane Hahn,
Yes.
All right, good job, Ian, thank you. And Robin. All right, we will move on to Todd, and, oh no, Todd's on the phone, Joe's back here, and I'm sorry, I can't. Allison, our architect with Clark and
Pearson.
And Henderson, yeah. So,
Appreciate it. Everybody, let me do this presentation and kind of show you where we're at on the bids and what came in. So our agenda today will be going through the bid process, the bids that we did receive, the general contractor's interview process, the general contractor's base bid amounts, alternates, progress update, construction schedule, and total program budget. Just one. Bid procedure. So basically the process we went through from the start, was the first thing was the contract community event. That was in December 10th, 2025. That was to get everybody to know about the project, get local interest in the project. So it was in the papers, things of that nature to get everybody excited about the project. Then we actually sent the bids out in a public bid. Those were all sent out on January 9th of 2026. So those were sent out to contractors, bid boards, things like that. So everybody has an opportunity to bid on this project. After the public bid was out, about a week later, we did a pre-bid walk. That's where prospective bidders can come, ask questions about the project, walk the site itself, just kind of get a better knowledge of what is happening on site currently and if they have questions. Through this same process, we do addendums. So addendums is going to be clarifications to the plans as they were sent out. If a contractor has questions or anything of that nature, they're sent in, they're reviewed by us and the architects, and they're responded to in these addendums. And everybody in the bid process gets these addendums. So if one contractor asks a question, that answer goes out to basically everybody at that point. So there was 2 addendums sent out during this process. Bid day is the public bid day, is where we read all the bids out loud on all the ones that were turned in at that time. After bid day, we went through and interviewed 3 contractors as selected through this process. And then today would be the board meeting where we're bringing this information to you. So the general contractors that bid on this project, we ended up having 5 total bidders. Crossland Construction, Icon Construction, Monarch Build, Straub Construction, and Bright Construction are the 5 bidders that bid on this particular project.
Where are the companies out of?
Crossland has a local office here. Icon is out of Topeka. Monarch is out of Kansas City. Also Straub Construction's out of Kansas City. And Bright Construction's out of St. Peters, Missouri.
Where'd you say Crossland was?
They're in Kansas City here. So the contractor interviews is the next step that we went through. That's to evaluate all the bids, including scope of work, warranties, references, completion dates, things like that, to make sure everybody has everything covered. The 3 companies that we had are Crossland Construction, Monarch Build, and Straub Construction. So the contractor base bids that we had come in, our base bid, the target construction bid amount was $5,815,881. So the 3 bids that you'll see here, the first one was Crossland, their base bid was $5,417,000. 270 calendar days from issuance of notice to proceed to substantial completion. Next one we had was Straub Construction, base bid of $5,938,615 with a construction time of 365 calendar days from issuance of notice to proceed. Monarch was the next one in line, a base bid of $5,998,719. They had 301 its calendar days from issuance of notice to proceed. Contingent upon the library's approval of Crossland Construction, the amount remaining from their base bid would be $398,881 that can be used to purchase towards the alternates. So in the plans, we had 6 alternates that were bid outside of the base bid amount. The first one's gonna be operable partition. It was $23,000. Lightning protection, that cost would be $26,000. Fencing, cost would be $18,000. Exterior sunshade would be $164,000. A north patio addition would be $2,700. And the east patio would be $11,700. All those totaled together would be $245,000. And the next slides, we'll go through each one and show you what those particular alternates are. So alternate number 1 is going to be the operable partition in the community room. If you look at the picture on the right, you'll see the full community room. You'll see how the floor is divided into 2 different floorings. That's where the partition would come across, and you'll see that in the picture on the right. That's going to divide those rooms into 2 rooms, so you can use one for kids programs while you still have a separate room for community room. Alternate number 2.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Do we have that Pleasant Hill?
Mhm.
Is it used?
It has been, yeah.
Sorry, Joe.
No problem. Next alternate is the lightning protection. There's really not something to show on that, but basically that's a protection. This is a system that's put in place to protect the structure against lightning strikes. That's a separate structure or a separate system that would be put in just for protection of that building.
Is that something that insurance requires or recommends, or are we in a high lightning zone there? Not that's the right term.
That would be something that would be a question for the insurance company to see if you get a break on your insurance for something like that. That could be something that helps out on the cost of your insurance.
Could be, but we don't know.
I don't know that particularly on the insurance side of it now.
Is that,
Yes.
Can you ask Allison, please, to respond to this question from the engineering design perspective, why it was proposed?
Yep, so basically it's something that is recommended, it's not required by code, but it's something that's recommended for, this, region. And oftentimes there is some insurance, deductibles for that. That would be something you guys would need to talk with the insurance company about, but, it's something we recommend, because of, the region that we're in. But it's not necessarily required by code, that's why we put it in as an alternate.
So again, since we're just, a one-story building, I thought, is it really necessary?
It's not really necessary, but it is something that we do recommend, and there's a kind of a, it's not code required, but it's kind of a nice to have thing, just as a protection.
Alternate number 3 is a 6-foot black vinyl chain link fence. In the picture to the right, you'll see kind of where they're located that in the red. It goes along the backside of the detention area there. It's just there to keep people out of that area. It's just basically aligning the backside of the detention area.
It's not on the property line the whole way,
The
or is it?
partial of it is on the property line in that back right corner.
And curious, why is it not, I'm just curious, why is it not along the whole back?
I'll let
I'll answer
Allison.
that one. It kind of goes, there's a ridge there.
Okay,
Because of the way there's a water detention basin, so it goes along the high point of the ridge, basically, so it's more preventative. for
Sure.
people.
okay.
And where it ends on the west side, then we have the trees, right? The tree divider.
Yep.
The next bit is going to be an exterior sunshade. On the top photo, you'll see where there's not a sunshade to the right of the main entrance. And in the bottom photo, you'll see a sunshade added from the right side of the entry, and it wraps around to the south side of the building there, all the way over to the door where the children's area would come out to the patio.
Is it metal?
It is.
Okay, it's not canvas or it's not anything like that, okay.
How deep is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what I thought for,
Yeah, so it's metal, it's a steel structure, so there's, footings and.
Steel structure.
Yeah, there's footings and columns there, and then the kind of shade structure itself is kind of a metal panel, so it lets some light in, but shades the area, kind of create a shaded, reading path around.
But the afternoon sun would be on that west and that south, more so. So it maybe is more needed.
aren't there cheaper alternatives, like
Is the glass
blinds
tinted
inside?
at all?
Yeah, tinted glass or blinds inside, or?
There are blinds, it's not necessarily to shade the inside, it, also provides a little bit of an architectural, character to the building as well. It's more to kind of shade the outside if people are outside and they wanna sit underneath it or walk underneath it.
So it's outside benefit more than inside benefit.
How
How-
far
how-
out?
Sorry,
I don't know what's the
That was my
on there.
question.
it doesn't look very wide.
It's maybe 4 feet, I think, maybe 4 feet.
So that's not much if you're out there.
So it's only gonna cover those table and chairs at that round indication there on the left side of the table and chairs. It's only gonna cover it part of the way. Okay,
If
Maybe
you see
with your
that bottom
foot, yeah.
picture there, you'll kind of see the side. It may be hard from your view. It'll go along the side of that. It's just slightly under the sidewalk length, width, actually.
I don't think that's so great on this far, I think that's east side. The posts for it go right down the middle of the sidewalk. If it was out further, it would, at least if it was raining, give you a chance to get down the sidewalk without being in the rain, otherwise you gotta walk in the
I don't think-
landscaping
yeah.
rocks.
But I don't think you'd be going out that way anyway.
Well, it comes out from the back side, doesn't it?
That's why I was trying to figure where the doors are. The
That
door, see where
That'd
the,
be the children's area that goes out to the patio. that
Yeah.
you're Looking at.
My thought when we went through all this stuff originally was, that one seems like a lot of money for fencing, I understand, lightning security, I understand, partition, I understand. This at $10,000, I might have understood, but at $164,000, I don't see it.
We can do a lot of other things. with-
That's right,
Yeah, we can
$164,000.
start a new project with $164,000.
I mean, is this something anybody's in love with?
It was a part of the original plan, and it was only as we were moving through and we were wanting to make sure that we would be able to build this within our budget, that we took it out and made it an alternate. But yes, we did like it, and we did want it to be included.
It's better without it. If you look down that sidewalk. Are we voting individually on these?
No.
We can't.
I mean, you
Why
can.
can't? We
Oh,
should.
You can.
I wish we would.
How about it?
I think we vote individually.
Okay. Let's let Joe go ahead and
Okay,
finish
Joe.
the.
Alternate number 5 was going to be on the north side of the building. Patio here, this would be adding the concrete, what you see there on the north side. This is right there by the garage entrance, for the library, so more of a staff area, go out and use that part. Alternate number 6 is another patio. This is on the east side of the building. The door that would exit out to there is in the adult area. This will be, once again, an alternate, just on that east side.
So there's trees on the other side of it and windows, right? So you can see what's happening out there.
Yes. That's the last alternate, to view on that aspect of it. The next thing we're just gonna do is kind of give you a progress update on some other things going on. As far as the tree clearing and construction, I just went out and checked on that today. He still will have probably this week to finish up on that. I do have that date as today, but due to the rain last week, he is going to extend that to the end of this week. All the trees are down. It's just got some few more stumps to remove and then mulch up what is remaining. Material testing and special inspections, that will be a separate contract directly with Cass County Public Library. We always keep the material testing of concrete, steel, all that type, your subsoils, things like that, separate from the general contractor.
And Joe, that'd be coming forward at the next board meeting, correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Building permit, the plans have been reviewed by the city and approved. Cass County will be paying for the permit itself. That's already in process as far as paying for that. Once we have a general contractor on board, they will be the ones that will pick up that permit and their name will be on that permit.
How much? I'm curious.
It was 100 and something thousand.
104,000?
And I'm
Percentage of
actually
whatever
curious, did anybody approach the city
Cost.
about waiving that fee? Because they've waived it for the school board.
We did approach them about waiving for that and they said no on that. And the permit is actually more than that. It's about 130 some thousand. There was a upfront cost of 16,000 some change to be able to submit that to do the initial review, and that was paid through the architect at that point. So that 104 is just the remaining money.
Well, I mean, I think we need to obviously pay it, but I do think they ought to be approached again and reminded that they waived all those fees for the schools. And why is one tax entity getting a break that another tax entity is not? Because as we pointed out, we could buy a lot of books with $104,000.
So would that be Robin or somebody on the?
I don't know who needs to go fight that circus, but like I said, they've done it for the school and they've proposed to do it for the school again. So I don't know why they would be subjecting the library now, because we're not actually county. We are a tax entity. And they made it pretty clear that since it was tax money, why are you double taxing people? So it's kind of like if it's good for one, it should be good for them all. Just an observation. In other words, we're gonna have to get the permits But I'd still make one more plug that, they really ought to think about it.
The last part of the progress update was gonna be the furniture design and procurement. Clark and Anderson we're in the process of doing those meetings now with the library on that. Procurement of the furniture date would be TBD. That is directly contracted with Cass County Public Library also. That is not under the GC. Construction schedule, what we're looking at currently is material procurement would be from February to April timeframe. Groundbreaking to be determined. We'll want to do a groundbreaking once they mobilize on site, so we'll have that to schedule out at this point yet. Contractor to mobilize, do some earthwork starting in late April, early May. Substantial completion around the end of the year at this point. Punch list early 2027. So we'll go through the final punch list at that point. Final completion early 2027. And then we'll also have a ribbon cutting at that time, and that'll be TBD once we know those final dates. Total program budget, this is just kind of remind you what's in all the total program budget at this point. We do have the contractor's base bids, any alternates that are decided to be taken at this point, construction contingency, all the permit, utility fees, furniture, indoor, outdoor, all furniture will be in this particular budget. Land purchases considered in this budget, financing costs, bond issuance, fees, miscellaneous costs, be moving costs, moving the shelves, equipment, administrative, and bid advertisements, and all the processes we went through to attain the property at the time. The total program budget is $8,341,000. At this point, any other further questions on anything that you've looked at so far? Anything else on the alternates as far as questions?
Yeah, I think we'd asked one time about a flagpole.
Right.
Is that not in the plans?
That is not currently on the plans, is it?
We could put a flag on the inside like all the other locations, but the requirements for having a flagpole outside is a little bit more than what we
Rain light,
can,
all that, yeah, yeah,
but we can certainly put one inside.
yeah.
So, Robin, this is Todd Sweet, Deputy Building Solutions. As we progress this, if there's more questions or not, it would make sense to get approval from the board on which alternates to choose, and then approval for you to sign a contract based upon the base bid and the amounts, for the summation of those alternates as approved.
All right, so we have a base bid to approve and 4 alternates, correct?
There's
Six total.
6. Okay.
I read the basic description of background check, but I just, for the record, the company that you're recommending, checked out, was there anything where they were superior or inferior to the others, or?
Just through the interview process, we asked all the same questions to each contractor, even call upon references on all the contractors. Everything is checked out on all 3 contractors.
Okay, so you'd have been comfortable.
Yes.
Have you worked with them before?
I have not worked with any of the 3 companies personally.
We have worked with all 3 contractors.
Okay. That's good. That's good to hear that Allison's worked with them.
Isn't Crossland doing the Adrian School gymnasium and stuff right now?
Yes, ma'am.
I thought so. So, good things have been coming out of that. That's,
Okay,
Kind of.
good to notice. All right. Could you put that thing back up, the screen that has the 6 bids? Did you have them?
I have them I have listed for the prices of the alternates.
Right there, yeah. And let's go one back, does that have the base bid? There we go. Let's start with the base bid. And, the, administrative and working with Navigate and the architect, they've recommended that we go with Crossland. Any further questions? Could I hear a motion?
I move that we choose Crossland Construction for our contractor for the new library.
At a base bid of $5,417,000. I have a second?
Second that.
All right. Any more discussion? Lori, would you do a roll call, please?
Becky Klein,
Yes.
Sherry Peters.
Yes.
Dennis Minnick,
Yes.
Diana Larson.
Yes.
Diane Hahn.
Yes.
All right, there's that one. Now, if we could go to the alternates, please. Okay, we'll take the alternates one by one. I think that's what I heard some indication of. We'll start with the operable partition. Any further questions of Joe?
We approve that one.
Okay, Dennis made the motion.
second.
Diana second. Lori, would you roll call, please?
Becky Klein.
Yes.
Sherry Peters.
Yes.
Dennis Minnick,
Yes.
Diana Larson.
Yes.
Diane Hahn.
Yes.
All right. Lightning protection, and I think we should follow up with our insurance provider and ask some questions if we could get a little discount there or something. So, but I guess it wouldn't make a difference really until the building's built. But maybe we can get some information about a possible discount on our policy.
Actually, I just didn't know if that was a typical thing.
Is
Is it
it-
typical? Now we can ask you questions, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah,
typical?
it's pretty common, like Allison said, it's pretty common, little safety policy there. Just have that extra lightning rod is what it is, if you had it on your house. Same thing for here, it'll help you protect computers and stuff inside too, from a lightning strike hitting the building.
Well, I'd assume we have a pretty good surge protection system inside, but
Yeah.
Okay.
Just seems like.
I make a motion to approve the lightning protection.
I'll second that. Any further questions? We'll go with roll call. Lori?
Becky Klein,
Yes.
Sherry Peters. Yes. Dennis Minnick,
Yes.
Diana Larson.
Yes.
Diane Hahn.
Yes.
All right, the fencing, that's vinyl coated black fencing, I believe it was,
Yes.
right?
I
Yes,
Pull that up.
and it will shield children from maybe getting into the detention pond and such, am I correct, or retention pond or whatever?
I think it's more keeping other people out from the site, but
In the,
Okay.
in the woods
Yes.
back
In the
there.
woods,
I
okay,
think probably with the, history there,
yeah,
it's a good idea.
all right. Any further questions? Motion, please?
So moved.
All right, I will
Second.
second it, okay. So the fencing is at $18,000. Roll call, please, Lori?
Becky Klein.
Yes?
Sherry Peters. Yes. Dennis Minnick,
Yes.
Diana Larson.
Yes.
Diane Hahn.
Yes.
Okay, bid number 4, alternate number 4 is the exterior sunshade for $164,000. Any more questions?
I will note one thing on this too, there is a very similar, structure at the Pleasant Hill facility.
We do have it?
There is, yeah. It's kind of more of a decorative, piece at that location. This one actually provides a little bit more sunshade, but, the idea was to kind of mimic that here and bring that same design philosophy to this building as well.
Is it gonna provide some shade,
It will provide some shade, yeah. Actually,
both
the one at Pleasant
outside
Hill-
and inside?
It will do a little bit, yes. The one at Pleasant Hill doesn't actually have much shade. It's more of a decorative feature. It doesn't actually have panels. This one has actual panels that you can walk under. You can actually see in the picture the brightness difference between, it's much darker underneath where the shade is. So it does provide some shade there as well.
Question
Just
for you
a
here.
little
When
bit.
I look at this picture, that's the shade right there, correct? Okay, so it doesn't come out as far as the sidewalk around the building.
Correct.
Okay.
I personally like the looks better without it.
And you do get a little protection at the door. It is not a solid panel though. It is a perforated panel, so it does allow some light through. So it's not gonna protect as much from the rain. But the perforations are fairly small.
So like Sherry, weren't you saying dark glass, as far as sunlight goes and heat, dark glass and blinds would cover that, so,
The glass, dark glass. We don't have dark glass. The glass is clear.
oh, okay, is it low E?
It is a little.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
It just doesn't have any.
Where's the water go when it rains from that?
There's a drainage system that drains it off to the ends.
Other discussion? What's your favor in a motion? I make a motion, we include the exterior sunshade at $164,000. Do I have a second? Right. That alternate died for lack of a second. All right, continuing on with the north patio.
Make them.
Go ahead.
I have no discussion, I was gonna make a motion.
Go ahead.
Okay, I make a motion that we do the north patio.
I'll second it. Any other discussion or comments? Lori, please?
Becky Klein?
Yes.
Sherry Peters?
Yes.
Dennis Minnick?
Yes.
Diana Larson?
Yes.
Diane Hahn?
Yes.
And then finally, the east patio on $11,700.
And that's just the concrete. There's no bench or.
There's some retaining wall features to that as well. That picture doesn't quite show it, but there is a little bit of a retaining wall that goes around the side.
Okay.
Something we envision
That's
doing
why it's
furniture
around
out there.
and then the north patio.
The
Little
furniture
bigger, there's a
someday.
wall.
We envision
Yeah,
doing
we
furniture out
got it in
there
the furniture
someday,
Yes.
or immediately.
She said yes, furniture.
I move we do the north patio alternate at 11, or east, excuse me, east at 11.7.
Right.
Okay, I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call, Lori?
Becky Klein?
Yes.
Sherry Peters?
Yes.
Dennis Minnick?
Yes.
Diana Larson?
Yes.
Diane Hahn?
Yes.
Are you cross-line rep? Congratulations. Winning our bid, we look forward to working with you.
We need to say.
Anything else on that?
I don't think so.
Thank you, Joe, Todd, and Allison.
Thank you.
We will move on into the policy revision. Can we turn on one more light?
Yeah.
So you can read these policies.
Yeah. Here.
Thank you. All right, we have 10 policies, starting with insurance benefits. Back here. Pat, do you have comments about each one? We'll just start with insurance.
Yeah, most of it is cleaning up the language and clarifying a little bit more to who it applies to. Some of it is very vague language, and like in this first one, it's where they're scheduled to work 30 hours a week, not, you know, like people who work 0 to 30 hours. That's not a set schedule. So this applies to people who are, that have set schedules, and that's mostly why this needed to be changed,
Okay.
to clarify that.
All right.
The only thing, I don't have any, I just had a question. The very bottom on that, up to 18 months following resignation, layoff, termination, employment, they get continued coverage. Do they pay for that, but they get the deal because they're through a group? Got it. That's what I figured. Yes, but I just was wondering too, yeah. Okay.
questions? All right, number 303, payroll. Just moving more into technology payroll.
It is, right? It most certainly is. We also, put in the payroll business or specialist manager, benefits manager. And so we had to change the terminology within the policy so that it matches what we actually have. So what was moving from Lori is now moving to our payroll benefits manager, a specialist. So we had to clean up that language so it would include all of that into there. And again, just kind of updating the wording to be more modern. There's nothing that really changed the whole policy.
Any questions? Okay, overtime and compensatory time. This is everything has to be run by Robin, correct?
Yes, overtime, which normally we don't do. Very rare occasions where we pay overtime, but we do pay compensatory time at 1.5 times the rate. So if I work over 15 minutes this week, instead of being paid that 15 minutes in overtime, next week I take off 22.5 minutes and get paid. That's compensatory time. So this follows the law, the wage and hour law of what we do. It's perfectly fine. But it's a better way because you have more control of what happens in this.
I assume you didn't have a lot of overtime anyway.
We don't, I mean, maybe occasionally, a period, we might have somebody that went over. And this applies more to the 40-hour people. Compensatory time, because it's over the 40 hours. That's where the cutoff is. I mean, if somebody works 30 hours, it's not over the 30 hours. It's over the 40 hours that we pay the compensatory time.
Okay. Holiday leave. Just had a holiday this month.
We did. Again, this is clarifying the language of it. One thing I did add in there, because it came up so often, is that the holiday has had to pass before they can take the holiday. So in other words, we just had President's Day. They could not take it last week. They had to wait till Monday till the holiday arrived and take it after that. So they would have all of this week to take it or the next pay period to take it in. So that's been a kind of a contention because in the past, what had happened is that some of the people would would want it like the Friday before. And then have a really long weekend. So we would be closed on Monday, maybe they don't work on Monday, so they get the other day off. So they would take Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. So this just kind of clarified that the holiday has had to pass, just like anything else. You don't earn it until it passes, until the time gets there. So I clarified that in there, and that's probably the biggest piece of it. Everything else is just cleaning up the language.
Parental leave.
Yes, again, that clarified the language, and this was a very short one, to the scheduled 30-hour work, so if they're benefit eligible for insurance. I want to make sure it was in here that it was that position. So,
I'm glad we offered that.
I had a question. on
yes,
it. Adopted children, it's in this, in addition, employees must meet one of the following criteria, and there are 3 bullets there. It's in the middle of the first page. The adoption of a spouse's child is excluded from this policy. Why?
because the one parent is already a parent. It would be,
Okay, what about, I'm just throwing this
I
out
know.
there. What about a gal who is single, pregnant with a baby, and the man that adopts that child when she gives birth is not the biological father? He isn't, and he works, I'm not saying this is gonna happen, but he works in the library. He doesn't get to stay home like a father that
is the biological father of that child because he is adopting that baby.
Well, he would be the spouse or a partner of a person who has given birth to a child.
Right.
So that would be the other.
I bet Pat will work through that.
Yes.
Okay.
I have two words that I always use. It's called it depends. Because every situation's different and we have to look at it in that light of what it is.
Okay. I just,
Yeah, good question, absolutely.
Yes. All right. Jury duty.
And this essentially just follows the law. Updated language following the law. Of what we have to give off for jury duty.
and another question here.
Yes,
As I read that earlier, they deduct the amount that they're paid by jury duty from their salary,
yes,
and then they're paid the difference.
yes.
Okay, because you don't get paid very much, and I know that's something that a lot of them waive,
Right.
that, you know, keep that $12.50 that you got for jury duty that day, and you still get paid for your full day.
And it's just the difference between.
Okay.
Okay. Bereavement leave? And this is sometimes it depends, right?
Yes.
Right.
A lot of these policies, when you get into these, are kind of it's a depends type of thing, because you have to look at the situation and then apply the policy to that situation. Okay, I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what we have to do many a time. But bereavement is pretty much the same, just cleaned it up slightly and through there. It didn't change really,
So it's,
scope of it.
the bereavement leave is separate than the PTO, right?
Yes,
Because in jury duty, you added that sentence, but you didn't add it in the bereavement leave one.
right,
Because you clarified in jury duty. Paid jury duty leave is separately, is paid, provided separately from PTO. And we didn't have that same
no,
sentence in
because
here.
bereavement leave, they actually get paid that as occurrence happens. So when somebody dies, it goes in as bereavement, they get paid that for that day, or 3 days, or 5 days.
Right.
So they don't have to use any PTO time, they use PTO time, which would be over either the 3 or the 5 days.
Right.
That's when it would come
But you're
in.
not using PTO time for jury duty either.
No,
That's what I said, because there's a sentence in jury duty that says that this is separate from PTO, and I thought maybe the same sentence needed to be in bereavement. Unless I'm not reading it all right.
I don't know if it necessarily needs to be in there, for clarification, it could be in there, but it doesn't necessarily need to be in
I
there.
just thought since you added
Yeah,
the jury duty one, I
right.
thought, oh, do we need the same addition here, but you will manage it, so I'm not worried about it.
Okay. Yeah. Military leave, again, that's the law, use ref. The only thing I changed on there was the titles, I put in there. The rest of it, the law.
Leave without pay?
Leave without pay. Clean that up a little bit too, because, the leave without pay, now we have to change it to, of course, to PTO time. If they have PTO time, they have to take the PTO time first, where before we had to say sick and vacation time. So I had to clean that language up in there. Where they won't use, with the leave without pay comes in, is that if they've used all their sick, or PTO time, keep on the sick and vacation, they've used all the PTO time. Then if they need extra time, then it goes into leave without pay. And then that's where it goes to Robin for approval for that leave for up to 60 days. If it falls into what the law would require, like under FMLA, that's a whole different ballgame. And then that would come and stay with me and HR to regulate that. So we kind of cleaned up the language to make sure that was in there.
And we hold that position open for up to 60 days, is that what I'm reading in the blue down there?
It depends on which one you're looking at. If you're looking at the,
For leave without pay that does not qualify under FMLA.
yes, for that one, it's 60 days that we're looking at, leave without pay. FMLA is 90 days,
Okay.
okay?
Would we maybe have hired a substitute for that 60 days to let that person's work, I mean, just stop?
We're not gonna let the work stop,
Right,
obviously. We'd, somebody else would fill in for whatever that needed, especially if it was somebody in a key position.
Yeah.
We have to, something we have to fill. If it's something that, maybe it's a third person on a night, maybe we can do without that third person a night or two here. It depends on what is happening. If they have a program running, they need that third person, then yes, we'll fill that in. But just because somebody's gone without this applies to the person itself that's leaving. And then we have to work the schedules to fill in wherever we need to with it.
Okay. And the employee assistance program?
I took the word new directions out of there because now we're at Lucid. They changed their name to Lucid, so instead of changing it every time, it's now just employee assistance program.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's very well received by the employees.
Oh, absolutely, and I'm telling you, from the employees themselves, we don't know who uses this, but the employees themselves send me emails saying, thank you for providing this.
Okay.
So it's a great resource for us.
Any other questions? So, I think we can do this all in one fell swoop.
I was gonna say, I move we approve policy revisions, letters A through J.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Sherry. Lori, would you do a roll call, please?
Becky Klein?
Yeah.
Sherry Peters, yes. Dennis Minnick?
Yes.
Donna Larson?
Yes.
Diane Vaughn?
Yes.
All right. Lee, assistant director reports?
All right. We had 3 new hires and 1 ceased employment last month. As far as current openings, we have hired our youth specialist at Archie, and we have interviews Friday for another part-time person to help with Drexel and outreach. We're still looking for Drexel for a custodian. We're working still towards setting up a fingerprinting program at NRC. I'm taking staff to the nearest fingerprinting location in Raytown we all have to go through the process before we can be vetted to give that service. So we're doing that, and once we're done with that, we should start our training, and then once our training's finished, we'll be up and running. So again, within the next month, I think that should happen. I went to Library Advocacy Day in Jeff City on February 3rd, which I've never been to, but it was nice and interesting, and made appointments with 4 nearby representatives and spoke with 2 of them, spoke with aides of 2 of them as well, but everybody was represented there. If they weren't available to talk, it's because they were in a session. They were happy to talk with me about remembering the library when they're talking about tax reform and how it would affect political subdivisions like us. So yeah, it's very interesting. There's no shortage of bills sort of floating out there that could impact our funding and funding for libraries all over. And yeah, I think this is in Ian's report too, but we did get the inside of Archie's wall repaired where the car had hit it, and they may have done the siding outside by now, but that was the next step. But inside was finished, and Drexel's plumbing work did cause us to be closed for 2 or 3 days, but they got that bored out, I think, of the pipes, and we're reopened. And I haven't seen the new flooring, but we're back to where we were a couple weeks ago. So
That's tree roots?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, I was there when, after they taken them out, they're pretty substantial. One of them was about 2 inches thick.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So probably better for everyone that has been removed.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Director's updates.
Yes, so we, Zach and I worked together to kind of revise what you see when you're looking at the monthly circulation statistics and the programming statistics, because we were trying to make it a little bit easier to view and to know what you were looking at and to actually, kind of break out some things so they're a little more specific. And Zach, I think, did an awesome job of making it very visually nice to look at. I don't know if you noticed, those are CCPL colors that he used to block together. So now we have categories blocked together in the same color, so you can easily, at a glance, look at the green circulation numbers or the red patron activity, so on and so forth. So, but like just some other things we did, we broke, like we have meeting rooms and in some branches study rooms, and so we broke those statistics out so you could see. Previously they were all lumped together and just reported as meeting room usage or room usage, and so now they're broken out. And we changed the wording for, it was curbside previously, but now we also have a drive-through at one of our branches, and we'll have one at another branch, so we just called it drive up to kind of cover all of the different ways that people might get their materials outside of the building. Let's see, what else did we change? Oh, so we kind of, when you look at the events totals, now you can see a breakout of the off-site things that the branches are doing. Previously, like, I mean, we have the statistics and we're keeping them, but we weren't reporting them on here. So now you can see what they're doing. You were always able to see what they were doing in-house, which for them is the majority of what they do anyway. But now you can see both on-site and off-site. And we moved Bookmobile over to its own, the category with outreach services, because everything they do is technically off-site outreach things. So we grouped those together. Every year when I fill out the state report, they want the breakdown of literacy programming, both what we're doing on site and what we're doing out in the community. So I just went ahead, this was me just wanting this to be easier to find, and put that breakdown here. And now our reading challenges, they also include our 1,000 books before kindergarten, because that actually goes all year long and rather than seasonally. And I think the branches, when they were giving us their reports monthly, they were thinking whatever reading challenge, summer reading challenge, winter reading challenge, and then you weren't really getting any statistics on the parts of the year that those things aren't happening. But we do have the 100 or 1,000 books before kindergarten, so this will have numbers, should have numbers all year round, maybe just fewer during certain parts of the year. And then I think the last thing to point out is just, since we had some specifics in the strategic plan that we were wanting to kind of highlight or focus on, I decided to actually put it in here as well. And we're getting, since we're migrating to using our events platform to help us keep track of statistics all in one place, combined with the events and the attendance and everything, we're using the category options that we have in there to help the staff categorize if they're doing a community partnership, if they're doing financial literacy, career development, that kind of programming too. So that's in there too, so you can see that at a glance. And then the other thing is we added a new kit to our exploration library this last month. We got a telescope kit. So we've got 2 of them, and I was going to do show and tell, but it's checked out, which is great. But you picture in your mind's eye a little kit that has a telescope, and it has a stand. It's got like the little lenses, so if you're looking at the moon, that you can use the different filtering light. It's pretty cool. It has a phone mount, so if you want to take pictures of what is, you can see through it, you can do that. So yeah, but one lives here and one lives at the NRC, and depending upon how that goes, we might add more if there's demand for it. But it's been a while since we added anything to that exploration library, and so that's one we had talked about. I want to say, like, even in the very beginning, it's always been, oh, we should do telescopes, and just never have. So now we have.
All right, right, CCIT report, anything, Dennis?
Not really, no.
Okay. Other trustee comments? Then I make a motion that we go into executive session for legal, United Statutes 610.0.1, and then negotiated contract 610.0.1.2. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Lori, would you roll call, please?
Becky Klein?
Yes.
Sharon Peters?
Yes.
Dennis Minnick?
Yes.
Diana Larson?
Yes.
Diane Hahn?
Yes.
All right. We will adjourn to the closed session.